everybody, and welcome to the Now What Next Steps podcast here at Malibu Pacific Church. Hey, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, I want to say welcome. Also, this is a supplemental podcast that comes after the sermon. So if you haven't listened to the sermon yet this past Sunday, please press pause and go listen to the sermon now. But I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, all right? So, hey, it's me, Joel, and we got...
Andy. How you doing, Joel?
The Vomsty.
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go. All right.
Christmas. Countdown's on.
Oh, it is so on. How many days?
I think 6.
Yes,
Am I
or
right?
whatever day you're
know.
listening to
You put me
this
on the
podcast.
spot. What? I guess.
Yeah, sure. It's a week from right now. So
Yes.
we're recording this on a Monday, but
That's Christmas, but Christmas Eve is
it's this Sunday.
It's Sunday,
So
it's
6 days.
Yeah,
6
yeah,
days.
yeah. Christmas Eve is 6 days.
6
Countdown
days.
is on. Who are you inviting?
Oh my gosh. Did you do those little like countdown things where you cut the little strips of paper off like as a kid? No. Okay.
No.
Well, that was all the rage. Well, you're in Brazil, so maybe it's a little bit different. I don't know.
Anything there.
You didn't do any.
I was playing soccer
You're
on
playing
the streets.
Didn't play soccer until I was in high school. Didn't even know. I was like, football?
yeah.
They're calling it wrong.
Football.
Yeah. Like, that's not football. All right. Anyways, so we are in our All I Want for Christmas session number 3.
Part 3.
Part 3. So this is the final Sunday
Yeah.
morning session
Yeah.
of this before we go into the Christmas Eve service. And I know you don't preach for the, hey, well done, but it really resonated. You know, like there's probably certain weeks where, I don't know, you go, okay, that was good. That was not good. I don't know.
yeah.
I know. You probably just leave it, you know, you leave it on everything on the court.
Yeah.
You know, but you're walking away from this past Sunday and you really gave an amazing illustration of, you know, the gift is free and it's there the entire time. It's
I have no idea. I think every pastor in America has done the gift sermon.
Not ever. Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Probably 99%. But it was very clear. And lots of people are just saying, thank you for making it accessible. I think that is one of the key components to a lot of your sermons is making them accessible to people. Even though you were saying that this is going to be a lot of book smarts and a lot of
Romans is thick.
it's
man.
very thick.
Yeah.
And then also having the Bible Project video inside of there too, explaining all of Advent.
How did that go? What do you think?
I think it went really well. I mean, I'm kind of a nerd with that kind of stuff too, and I love the Bible Project because it's just excellent.
If you don't know about it, just let everybody know out there. BibleProject.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
YouTube channels, all the kind of stuff.
They have also taken it. They got some funding for that project. These two guys started, and it's Bible Illustrated. It's really good.
Really good. Spot on.
Yeah, I just want to encourage everybody to go check it out.
Check it out. And then check out that Malibu Pacific YouTube page as well, because that's popping as well. So we got, okay. So you're walking away. Do you feel like your bottom line, if everybody were to walk away with just one thing this past Sunday, what would it be? And do you think people were all on the bus together?
Well, I would just say that, like I said, every Jew knows that sin was introduced into the world because of Adam and Eve. So grace went out the door. All they experienced was grace in Genesis chapter 1 and 2. So what did Jesus do? He's bringing back grace. Grace is back, and that's the gift. Because there was no grace before, but now grace is back.
I know it's not necessarily really connected, but I think I love that our 2 baptism videos the last weeks was
You got to check that out.
Was Grace, and then Kelly, who is from Jewish background, and then proclaiming Jesus.
You really need to watch that video. Her testimony as a Jew. I love at the end. We're going to try that. They watched The Chosen, and we need to let the chosen people know. We need to actually send that to them and go, because of what you did, they're here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because they watched that, they believed in who Jesus was. They were like, this is the Messiah we have been praying for.
Yep.
And then they said, we need to go to church. And she says to her husband, we're Jews, and I don't know if we'll be accepted. And this is going to be a scary experience for us, but let's go. Well, we may not be accepted.
Let's call them first.
Let's call them first. Let them know we're coming.
And she said it was really scary. It was nerve-wracking to call, to even say, or would we be welcome here?
Will we be welcome?
And there's a giant sign outside that says, a church for everybody in every story. And we're constantly, that's our benchmarker, you know, that's our line that we're like, hey, we're we're going to bring people in here and actually mean what we're saying. And
let me just say, I'm excited that there are all the churches that we have here in Malibu, and I promote them. I mean, we have Vintage, we have the Gathering, we have the Wave, have the Catholic Church, have a Methodist Church, have a Episcopalian Church, I think. So they're different styles, and they're reaching different people.
Totally.
We're just reaching a different group of people. So whoever's criticizing us, we just have a heart and a passion for the people who have that fear. I don't know if they're going to accept me. And so we are for everybody, but not everybody. If you're looking for something else, or if you're looking for higher liturgy, you're looking for a choir, that's okay. And actually, that's a style of worship. And but we just have a heart and a passion. God's called us to be the church that's reaching the Kellys, who said, I'm scared to go there.
Yep.
And we as a church are saying, there's people showing up here who are scared to death to come here, and they've never been inside of a building, and they have no idea what to expect. So that's just who we are.
Yeah.
And if you come here and go, I didn't like that church, it wasn't for you. And that's why there's other churches.
Absolutely. And we support all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Because we would never be able to reach the people that Vintage is reaching. The Methodists are reaching the Episcopalians with high liturgy. We're just not going to be that church.
Totally.
So thank God for the different styles of worship that are in town.
Absolutely.
So anyway, that's who we are reaching, and God brought her and her family, and we baptized them all. Yeah.
All of them in this last month, which is just awesome. You can check out those videos. They're actually on the MPC website under Malibu Pacific Stories Plus. It's on the app as well, the Malibu Plus app, and on the YouTube channel as well under Stories, and on the front of the website. So go to malibupacific.church to check out those stories after you finish this podcast. Don't leave just yet. We still have some good stuff
we still got some stuff. But yeah, it's about grace. And Paul in Romans 5 is saying there's a gift, and it's a gift of grace, and it's the gift of righteousness, or a right standing with God, and it's a gift that's given. So as hard as we try to be good, to have a right standing with God, it's actually given to us as a gift.
Absolutely. And then you had this awesome visual. You went and saw that there's a bunch of gifts out on the stage, right? You tied some rope to it.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from? Was that like a...
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think that was a youth camp thing. Actually, we use that as a youth camp. I use that illustration almost every year at my previous church up in New Vintage for Christmas. Just whenever I use the gift idea, we just think it's not really a gift. I don't know. Did you ever use it? Just for years. I don't know where I got that from.
I always gave a gift, and then it was always empty, because that was my thing. And people would open it up, be all excited, but there's nothing in here. And I'd be like, well, what, do you deserve a gift? Like coming from that angle. And they're like, yeah, I think I do. I'm like, well, God's giving you a free gift right now. And sometimes people feel like, oh, I just don't deserve it. And so they don't accept it.
Oh, right. That's right.
So, yeah.
Either don't accept it, or we think there's strings attached. If I become a Christian, all right, here's all the things I'm going to have to do. And it's not really a gift. Yeah, I'm going to have to get religious and do all these things in order to get God to love me. And there's strings attached.
Well, it's the bait and switch.
It's a bait and switch. Yeah. I think that's why people are afraid of going to church, or don't trust church, because they don't want to have a bait and switch.
Totally. Maybe they've experienced a bait and switch at a church, or they've heard of a friend who's experienced bait and switch. I think there's so many of those stories of like, well, my friend started this church and turned out to just be a cult. Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, maybe they went to the wrong place.
I was having a conversation with somebody who knows somebody in town in Malibu that's very famous. If I said the name, everybody would know who this person and his wife, who they are.
Yeah.
And this person who knows them very well, I don't want to disclose any names because God's working in their hearts, but he said...
Bono. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. But it could be. Could be easily.
You never know. You should come on a Sunday and see.
Yeah. But he said something very interesting. They are solid followers of Jesus. They are believers. They just don't trust church because they've been burned. Ooh. They don't trust it. So anyway, we need to find a way of... There it is. There's the bait and switch. Somewhere they experienced a bait and switch.
So how can we build that trust with people again as a church?
That's a great question. Let your yes be a yes, be a no, be a no, and we truly need to be a people of grace.
Yes.
and mean it. Walk the talk.
Oh, and mean it? You have to do that part too?
I actually have to do it.
I usually just say I'm filled with grace, but I have to actually...
Well, we can't say we're a church of grace.
We're a church for everybody in every story.
But don't take coffee inside the sanctuary. We got a rule. Start throwing some rules that you need to behave a certain way before we really approve you, before you're an insider.
Yeah, you're totally welcome here, but just not in there with that.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So we got to walk the talk.
Absolutely. I had a really funny little conversation. We got our carpets cleaned this last week, and we have an awesome carpet crew, and they were like, oh, there's so many more stains on the carpet.
In the sanctuary.
In the sanctuary. Yeah. It's getting trashed so fast. Ever since you guys allowed coffee in there,
it's been terrible.
It's terrible.
It's bad.
I just looked at them like, isn't it great? It just shows how many more people are coming in here and spilling coffee. But at the same time, there are people here because I'd rather have dirty carpets.
And in 2 years, we're going to replace the carpet.
Exactly. Because it's been worn out. It's
going to force us to, because it's going to look bad anyway.
Exactly. So instead of being like, oh no, we got to keep the carpet pristine and keep the people out. And and it took him back a little bit too. And I got him to just kind of think, okay, a little bit different, which was good too.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was fun stuff. Okay, we're in some amazing points from the sermon. I think one of my favorite highlights, and everybody was laughing, was your lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
I got in trouble with that one.
Oh, you did? Come on now.
But I also said, well, we try to cover our stuff up.
Yeah.
Well, when sin was introduced, death was introduced. Mm-hmm. And what we try to do is, that's a reality. We have sin. We are aging. Mm-hmm. We are decayed. I see it every day in the mirror. But what we try to do, like in religion, is put lipstick on a pig, or we try to use rules in religion to make ourselves look better.
Yep.
But actually, behind the facade of the coats and the ties and looking religious, we're filled with sin. We are sinners. Just like a pig is a pig, we humans are sinners. Uh-huh. That's what we are. That's who we are. And as much as we try to clean ourselves up, it's still lipstick on a pig.
Well, the funny thing is that there's a couple people I heard, they're like, oh, they're like so cute. Because I guess pigs are in, little teacup pigs are like all the rage. Anyway, so it's just kind of funny to be like, oh yeah, lipstick on a pig. But some people are like, no, that's actually really cute.
That's what it's cute. I don't think it's cute.
Yeah.
I just think a human being who's trying to act religious and better than everybody else and act like you don't have sin, I think it's gross.
I think
it's gross. Religious people, it's gross.
Yeah. So how can we stop that?
Well, I think we all need to be touched by the grace of God. Mm-hmm. I don't, and it's something we need to wake up every day and say, I'm a sinner.
Yeah.
That's why I love AA. I go to Craig T. Nelson's small group on Thursday nights. The whole group's like, hey, we're all a bunch of sinners. It's the most honest group I've been around.
Everything's out on the table.
Everything's out on the table. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this is so refreshing. Nobody's pretending around here. Mm-hmm. It's the healthiest thing. And so I think for all of us, we wake up and say, I'm a sinner. I'm in AA. That's what AA is. The first line is, I am an alcoholic. I am an addict. Great. Okay. We got that out. I think all of us should say that every day, that when we wake up, I'm a sinner. Mm-hmm. I'm tainted by Adam's sin. Mm-hmm. I'm a sinner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I did, and God's given me grace.
Yeah.
As I've been given the gift, I can give that now to others.
Ooh,
but if I don't recognize that I'm a sinner and I've been given a gift of grace, I'm not going to extend it to somebody else.
Totally. Is that where the strings are attached?
That's when the strings are attached. That's good.
Yeah.
That's right.
So when you're given given that gift, it's almost like it's not really a gift. It's kind of BS. And maybe that's where people are experiencing that with some people at church or in religious groups or things like that.
Well, they smell it.
Oh,
yeah, it stinks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you smell it. The staff were over at our house last night, and we could start smelling something. I did it before at our previous house. I think everybody's experienced it. A dead rat.
Totally.
It was a stink.
Yeah, that was a gas leak. So
it wasn't. We proved it wasn't a gas leak. Even if it is, there's something
stinky. People
smell it. They smell a rat.
Yeah.
And when they walk into churches, they smell a rat. So, what we do as a staff, or we as Christians, or if you're a member of this church, or you say this is Malibu Pacific is my church, you are responsible to help protect the health of the church.
Yeah.
Because visitors coming in, they have a high stink radar.
Totally.
And they know when Christians are pretending to be something that they're not, they smell it.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer that first question earlier on, what do we do is, we got to get rid of the stink.
Yeah.
Which is in us.
Yeah.
We all stink. Maybe that could have been an illustration for Sunday too. We all stink.
Is that a sermon series?
I think, whoa, hang on, write this down.
We all stink.
We all do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
And other people smell the stink on us. So why not just don't cover it up, name it. Let's take a shower. Let's take that bath that cleans us up.
Yeah.
It's the grace of God. That's baptism.
Yeah.
It washes it away.
Yeah. Just kind of own up to it.
Own it.
Yeah.
Confess it. Give it to God, and He promises to cleanse us. This will preach. Hang on.
Hold on.
I thought we were doing a podcast.
We're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
No. All right. So sermon 3.5 is happening right now. And
But
just to let you know,
point.
yeah,
Same point.
Andy says you stink. So
you stink.
yeah,
You stink.
in the Malibu Times, new pastor says everybody stinks.
It's true.
No, yeah.
So I mean that really was the point of yesterday. I mean of church on Sunday. We didn't talk about the stink, but
yeah,
trying to pretend something that we're not. And God wants to give us the grace. And when we don't receive it, or I don't know, when we don't confess it and just recognize it, we're hypocrites.
Yeah, totally. I think I'll speak for myself. I've gotten caught up into that a handful of times of trying to be better than other people because I'm a professional Christian, and so I have to have it together. And the older I get, the more I realize I can just be me around all the people.
Yeah.
And it tends, people are already timid enough that I work at a church for some reason. I don't need to walk around going, are you really drinking some wine in front of me right now? Are you really having a cigar? And I'm like,
Judge.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, there's Judge and Joel. I've never been called that, but you know, you never know. But I'm just realizing more and more that it's good to just really be yourself, who God created you to be. Even though sometimes, you know, we've all fallen short of the glory of God. Yeah. We've all messed up. We've all sinned. But to be able to have those conversations with people and to be held accountable to not do those things again, I think that's part of the big grace picture. Yeah. I think that is hey, yeah, we've all screwed up, but guess what? You're still in the game. Like you're still alive and ready to go. Like, how can we help you take a step with Jesus in order for you to accept this grace, the gift for free? It. Like, how can we?
That's it.
So the question that I have for you is, what would be a good thing that we could do after listening to this podcast, listening to this sermon? What would be one easy step for somebody to take this next week to show grace to somebody, to give the gift of grace without any strings attached?
That's really good. Well, I mean, the moment you say that, I'm just thinking every situation would be a little bit different. I was thinking a few nights ago, we were at a party and we met this couple, and he was gay, and then found out that I was a pastor, and I think he was looking for a reaction or something. And my wife, Kelly, and I just kept being friends with him for the whole evening, asked questions, was interested, kept extending grace.
Yeah.
Gave him a big hug at the end.
Yeah.
And he was blown away.
Well,
so just, I'm not judging you, and you're a human being, and God loves you, and
totally.
Hey, we'll see you around, you know?
Yeah.
So that was just extending grace for that situation. I think it's different for every person.
Yeah.
There were 183 interactions that Jesus had with people and questions that they had with people, and Jesus only answered 3 out of the 183. And he responded with a question or asking the question, what do you need? How can I help? He's extending grace.
Yeah.
What is your problem? And each miracle was unique and different. So I think it depends on the situation. Okay. Listen to people. That's grace, care, love. And don't walk into that situation or that interaction with somebody as if you're above them. You're actually, the model we have is that Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. Yep. Basically, how can I serve you?
Yep.
What can I do to help? I think that's the most important question we could ask. Ephesians chapter 5, submit to one another. That's extending grace.
Yeah.
So Jesus came, John chapter 1, the fullness of grace and truth. That's who he is. Not judgment and condemnation, but he came with the fullness of grace and truth. And they actually go together.
Totally.
So I think every human interaction, our leader, the person we're following, he, just to let you know, he went to the cross for us. So that's where we're going as Christians.
Spoiler.
That's our leader. That's where he's taking us.
Yeah.
Come follow me. Well, where are we going? To the cross.
To the cross.
To the cross.
Yeah.
It's amazing how Christians, we forget that. That's our leader.
Yeah.
And he said, come follow me.
Yep.
Where are we going? To a cross.
Totally.
Dying to ourselves.
Yep.
And that's how we extend grace. How do we serve the people around us? How do we die for them? How do we submit to them?
Yeah, I think for myself, I'm not going to speak for church people, but what my experience has been growing up in the church and youth group and all that kind of stuff is that I always had people telling me what I should be doing and shouldn't be doing. And I know that you like to say you
don't should on people.
Don't should on people.
Don't
and I've
should
been
on
saying that for a couple of years now since you've been here. And I think that that's like one of the biggest things that we could possibly be working on too. Is just don't should on people. Like when you said right now to just listen to their story, just to be present, actively ask a question, be intrigued by their story.
Their story.
Yeah, Jesus gave 3 answers out of 183. 180, he asked more questions because he just wanted to get to know somebody better.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be an amazing little step.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost you anything.
No, none whatsoever. I mean, it costs you some time, but come on, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of making it about you, let's make it about them.
Absolutely.
So be interested. Listen. I like what you said. Be present.
Yeah. Be present with people.
Yeah.
Because that's a present. There we go. With that, if there's one other thing that you wanted to say this past Sunday, is there anything that you're like, I wish I could have gotten a chance to deep dive a little bit more into this? Or you're like, no, you know what? I felt like I laid it all out and felt
Sunday,
good.
No, I felt like that was it. Yeah. Felt like I landed the plane and I felt like people were involved and engaged. I had somebody come up to me after the service who is a teacher of teachers. And she said that I liked how you had the audience engage and talk back. It's actually, I teach teachers. And it wasn't Terrell, it was actually somebody else. And she said, actually, I teach people to do that because it helps in the learning process, helps people remember.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I said, well, I've heard that people only remember, here it is, 5% of what they hear 48 hours after they heard it. She said, well, that's not exactly true. That is something that's been said. I learned that in graduate school and in communication class and preaching classes, use visuals and so on. There, we have our 5 senses. She said, some people are audio and they're more left brain.
Okay.
For that audience, who's more, let's say, engineers and, I don't know, hearing, and they're more mathematical and left brain, logical, that actually, no, they remember like 80% of what's said after 48 hours. But some other people are more right brain, more creative. They need more visuals. Some are more, you need to feel it or hear it or sensory, other senses. So that was just very helpful to me. So I was worried about people staying with it, but I just was so glad that people seemed very engaged by talking back and responding and seemed very engaged with that it actually proved that I was wrong, that it was more of a left brain Romans 5, but they did remember it by saying it back or communicating it. So no, I felt like everything I wanted to say last week, I think it was Herod, I just wanted to say there's a Herod inside of every single one of us. Yeah. That was the landing, and I didn't say that. But this week, no, I feel like I landed the plane. I feel like there was a great response. I felt like people were with me and got it.
Totally. So, well, I apologize for then you spend a half hour talking about a free gift and then me taking it back from somebody.
Oh, that was so funny,
So
wasn't it,
good.
everybody? It was like, yeah, we're not doing that.
No, we need that.
Love that
Not
free gift.
Yeah, come on, Andy, stop giving out free stuff.
Stop giving free stuff away. That was such a good closer. It was great.
As Andy was saying last night, we were all at his house celebrating Christmas last night, and we were just talking about that moment, and I actually told him where I kind of got the joke from, which was like 10 minutes before then. I had my wife Shannon, we're up there, and she's like, "Wait, that's the box that brings the whole tree together. It's like the perfect size box. You better go get that back. Get that back. Why is he gonna ruin it?" Like totally. And I was just like, and so I was like, all right, I'll lean into that.
Stop giving gifts away. That was great.
Oh, it's fun stuff. All right. Well, with that said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or hand gestures about any of these sermons, these past podcasts, or anything like that, please shoot them to me, Joel at Malibu Pacific Church. MalibuPacific.church. There we go. Joel at MalibuPacific.church. We'd love to answer any and all of those questions here on the podcast or through email, coffee or lunch or things like that. If you want to send this podcast to somebody, please share it and hit that subscribe button so it ends up in your box every single week that we record these. With that said, thank you so much for being a part of Malibu Pacific Church, and we hope to see you this Sunday night,
That's right.
Christmas Eve, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
No 10 o'clock, everybody.
Yeah, 10 o'clock's already full, so don't show up. No, I'm just
Gone.
kidding.
We're not doing it.
We're not doing it.
No,
So
we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're just at a different time.
absolutely, no 10 a.m. this Sunday, but we are
Live
going to be having,
broadcast?
what was that?
Is there a broadcast? Live broadcast?
For?
Christmas Eve?
Oh, of course. Of
Okay.
course. I thought you meant at the 10 a.m. I'm
No,
like, we could turn it on and nothing will happen in here.
Nothing's going on. But I know
Yeah.
quite a few people, a lot of Malibu people do go visit family. I know a family came up to me and said, "We won't be here this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be in Hawaii." And I said,
mission
"Can you
trip?
take a missions trip? Can you take me
missions
with
trip,
you?"
Totally.
But they said, "But we'll be watching online." So just let you know, you may be traveling.
Yeah.
Watch it with your family.
Absolutely. 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. We have live streams at every single one of them.
Every one.
So watch all three of them and tell us which one is the best.
There you go.
Okay.
Awesome.
Or just watch one of them, or let us know you're coming by registering. We're not doing like a ticket system. We just want to make sure we have a seat for you and your guests that you are bringing. So please let us know which one you're coming to. And we're so excited to see how this service is just going to unfold. It's going to be beautiful,
great.
wonderful, especially with you there. So with that said, have an amazing week, everybody. And until next time, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.